Hello, football fans. It's week 15 in the NFL. I'm back. Lost my voice there for a little bit. So you got more of the gambling buds going on. I'm joined by Nick Kerr. I'm in Tony Parlay Reyes. Let's jump into it, gentlemen. Did I just say Saturday games again? I think I did. Damn it. All right. Anyway, these are the Sunday games. Bears at Browns. Browns favored by 3.5 points. We'll start with Tony Parlay on this one.
Welcome back, Chris. Welcome back. These are Sunday games. This is going to be a close, ugly game. The 3.5 point spread. I mean, I like what I've seen from Joe Flacco in the Browns offense, as twisted of a sentence as that is to say. It looks better than what I've seen before from Browns quarterback play. But the half point is really what got me. I know the Browns defense is a lot better at home than they are on the road. Bears are coming off of a big emotional win, upsetting the Lions. I don't think the Bears win, but in that game where it's two defenses just going back and forth, I'll take the extra half point in the hook. So give me the Bears to go ahead and cover that 3.5 points.
Tony, I am in agreement with you. I'm also taking Chicago, primarily because of that half point as well. But, honestly, I've liked what I've seen out of Justin Fields lately. I've liked what I've seen out of the Bears. You laughed at me before the show, but Bears still in the playoff hunt, along with Tommy DeVito and the Giants. So, hey, they're playing for playoff possibilities here. So, and you had the Packers lose on Monday night as well. So, this is a game for the Bears, but I think Browns probably squeak by a field goal or less. And so, much like Tony, that half point just not doing it for me. So let's check in on Nicholas J. Kerr to see what his pick is. Oh, no! Yep. Tell us why you're picking the Browns.
I mean, I agree with a lot of the points you guys were making because the Bears of the last 2 weeks have looked a lot better. But they're going to face a much tougher challenge with this Browns defense. And I think with that, the Browns, they're 6-1 against the spread at home. And they're also, it's every one of those games is basically the under. They're 5-1-1 with the unders in that game. I expect this to be a really low scoring game. And I think that the Browns win this probably by a touchdown.
All right. We'll find out here on Sunday. All right, next game up, we have the Buccaneers at the Packers. Packers also favored by 3.5 points at home on this one. Nick, we'll kick it back to you on this. Talk to us about Bucs versus Cheeseheads.
Yeah, I mean, this game, the Packers had a heartbreaker last week on Monday night, much like I did with my team, but the Bucs are playing consecutive road games, and the Packers are on a short week. I think that Jordan Love's going to bounce back in this because Jordan Love's been excellent against the blitz. He's ranking 4th in QBR with 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Bucs defense likes the blitz, so I think when they do, Jordan Love's going to pick them apart. I expect the Packers to win this game.
All right, Tony, we'll kick it to you next.
This one was a hard one for me because of the hook, and I don't really think the questions for the Packers are on offense anymore. It feels like they've solidified that Jordan Love is their guy. I will see how effective he is. He gave them the lead in that game against the Giants on Monday night before DeVito came back and broke their hearts. But I feel like it's the same story with the Packers every year, and it's like this defense always blowing some lead and always giving up some crazy long passes. And that's what concerned me a little bit about this game. With laying the 3.5 in the hook there. But Baker Mayfield in cold weather, I don't know. I think the Packers pass rush will make enough plays and make a lot of deflections and cause a lot of batted passes at the line for Baker because he's all short in the pocket. Give me the Packers to go ahead and cover this 3.5 points at home.
All right. That leaves me. I'm in agreement. I'm also taking the Packers as well. I just think the Buccaneers having to travel up there to Lambeau, even though the weather will be relatively nice. It's supposed to be 40s and sunny. And also I have not liked the consistency that I've seen from the Buccaneers this season on offense and defense. It seems like even when Baker Mayfield and that offense step up, but their defense lets them down, and vice versa. Also, I just don't see the Packers the way they've been playing, the way Jordan Love's been playing. As much as that pains me to say, I think they have a bounce back game here, and they're going to be right back in the playoff mix as well. And so, yeah, give me the Packers to win by probably a touchdown or more in this game. Okay, that's a family play. Cue Vin Diesel. Next up, we have the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee favored by 2.5 points. In this one, it looks like we're going to have Will Levis versus... Who's the backup QB for Houston?
Davis Mills, bro.
Yeah.
Don't forget to stick your neck out.
They signed Davis Mills this week. So yes, Davis Mills, Will Levis. We will start with Tony on this one. Talk to us about Houston versus Tennessee.
Man, yeah, that's right. It's a questionable quarterback matchup there. Getting close to a bowl game as well. Will Levis versus Davis Mills. But Titans coming off that huge emotional win over Nick's Dolphins on a short week. I don't like them, and I know that everyone's going to be selling this Texans team short because no CJ Stroud. But that team has a culture, and that team has a coach, and so I think the Texans are going to win this game, even with backup quarterback Davis Mills in there, because I just think that they're going to come together, and they're going to make those plays. Nico Collins is also out, so I was just like, that's just like a throw your kitchen sink at it. Texans still in the playoff mix. I think they're going to come together and win that game.
All right. Tony, once again, I'm in agreement with you. I'm also taking Texans. I think that I spoke about it a couple weeks ago that I think sometimes you have these emotional wins and then you have the emotional letdown next week that just inevitably you're going to have that crash when you have just such an emotional high. And I think for Tennessee, after that big win in Miami, they're going to have a little bit of a coming back to earth moment. Same with Will Levis, who got an angry run this week. And so, yeah, same as Tony. I think a lot of people are selling the Texans short, who are still in the playoff hunt, need to win this game. So, yes, give me Houston in this one. Speaking of angry runs, that leaves us with Nick Kerr. Talk to us. Why are you picking the Titans?
I mean, it might be a little hangover from Monday because what I watched in those last 3 minutes was very, very depressing. But with like what Tony was saying, with CJ Stroud out, Nico Collins out, this team's going to have to rely on the run. And yeah, the Titans defense ranks 14th against the run, allowing 110 a game, but this Texans offense is 26th in the run. So I don't see that happening. On the other side of things, Derrick Henry has rushed for multiple touchdowns in the last 3 games. No player's done it 4 straight games. I think he does it this week. Titans are 4-1 at home, and they're going to be wearing those throwback Oiler uniforms. I'm taking the Titans here.
Yep. Derrick Henry's still very much a factor in the NFL. I think those Oiler uniforms are jinxed though, so that makes me want.
But against Houston, though,
yeah, against Houston, like that'll be a weird one. But also, don't forget Tank Dell out as well for the Texans,
Mm-hmm.
so they are definitely down a few men on that team. All right, we will move forward. Divisional matchup: AFC East. Got the New York Jets, the Jets, Jets, versus the Miami Dolphins. Fins favored by 8.5 points in Miami. Gonna start out with myself on this one. More for me, I'm going with the Jets. I'll say right off the bat. But I do think Miami wins this game. I think this will be ultimately a bounce back game for Miami, but Jets been playing better. I think they keep it close. I think they're able to keep it within a touchdown. So for me, it's just this spread's too big. But hey, last time I said that was against the Commanders, and look what look what happened there. So who knows? I'll kick it off to Anthony. Tony Parlay Reyes, talk to us about Jets Dolphins.
Yeah, man, I'm in agreement with you there, Chris. 8.5 points. It feels like too big of a spread, especially after what we saw from both these teams last week. I guess if the Bears are in the hunt, so are the Jets in the playoff mix. So, I think they have the same record. And Zach Wilson pretty much had his best game as a pro in that blowout over the Texans. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in that team. Dolphins really injured. I don't know what's going on with the offensive line there, but 8.5 points just felt like way too many. I think the Dolphins do win, but I think it's probably closer. I think it's a field goal game. They're going to go back and forth. Like, that's my concern. I think the Dolphins do still win, but I think it's a lot closer than that.
Yeah, I think it's a find your footing game against a Dolphins team that, like, yeah, the results of that game were very not what they expected. And so I think they're still going to be a little shaky coming out of the gates this weekend, but still get the win. So, to no one's surprise, that leaves Nick on a lonely island who's picking the Dolphins. Talk to us about your Fins.
I mean, I agree with a lot of the points you guys are making. Yeah, division game. The Dolphins' offensive line is a little beat up right now, but we should have Teron Armstead back. But there is no way, no how. It doesn't matter if the spread was 30, that I would be picking the Jets over the Dolphins. So I will be out there. Should be a great time. Should be some Jets fans out there. Maybe some fights. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, Jets fans, you're not the nicest lot out there, so be respectable. All right. Next up, we have Kansas City Chiefs, fresh off a loss against New England Patriots in Foxborough. KC still favored by 9.5 points, though. Nick, we'll kick it back to you on this one. Talk to us about Chiefs versus Pats.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs dropped to number 3 in the AFC race, losing 3 of the last 4. Meanwhile, New England Patriots actually looked somewhat productive on Thursday night last week. I can't pick the Pats here, even though they're at home. They had a good win, but I think the frustration that Patrick Mahomes had last week is going to carry over into this game, and he's going to take it out on the Patriots. I see the Chiefs winning this game by double digits.
All right. Tony, talk to us about the Chiefs and Pats.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think he's right on point there. I mean, the Chiefs did have a bad loss to the Bills, and they have struggled this year. But man, those things being true doesn't make the Patriots good, and doesn't make the Patriots like a capable offense. And I mean, I feel like they did have a good win against the Steelers team, and this Chiefs offense is a different animal. Patrick Mahomes is a lot better than Mitch Trubisky, so I'm with you, Nick. I think this is a get right game for the Chiefs. Kelsey scores in this game a couple times probably, and they win easily by 2 touchdowns.
All right, I guess that leaves me on a lonely island. Unfortunately, I'm picking the New England Patriots. Much like you guys both said, I think that frustration was palpable. I think it's going to carry over into this week. And I think them having to play on the road, them having to play against Bill Belichick, nobody's going to be picking the Patriots in this game. So I think this is just one of those perfect games for Bill Belichick to concoct something random and strange to keep it close. And so I think that the Pats can keep it within 9.5 points. Definitely don't see them winning this game. I do say if the Chiefs do lose this game, which, hey, I'll take that all day. Yeah, some real question marks around the Chiefs, around Patrick Mahomes, hell, around Andy Reid and just what's going on there. So then also you'd have to talk about the loss of Eric Bieniemy, of just how is that affecting this team? Seems like it's affecting the team more than when they lost Tyreek Hill, to be honest. So, yeah, Chiefs have a lot to overcome this week still, but I think Pats can keep it close. But like I said, if the Chiefs lose, I will gladly take it, my friends. So, moving on, we have Tommy DeVito, the family, and the Giants versus the Saints. They go down to New Orleans. New Orleans favored by 6 points in this one. Nick, I will start with you. Talk to us about Giants and Saints.
Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry I went against the family last week, not picking Tommy DeVito and these Giants. This week I am, because Tommy DeVito in his 4 starts, he's got 7 touchdowns, which is second most passing touchdowns in Giants history behind Fran Tarkington. On top of that, this Saints team is not doing well against the spread at home. They're 1-5 on the year. If this game was at 3 points, maybe I'd pick them, but I think that spread's too big. I'm taking Giants.
All right. Hey, family, I'm in agreement with you, Nick. I'm taking Tommy DeVito and the Giants. I think that Saints team, talk about a team I just don't want to pick anymore this season, and a team that I feel like just has no identity on offense or defense. I just want to stay away from the Saints. Give me the family. Also, find it hilarious that the team that found Kurt Warner is now having to experience Tommy DeVito after just paying Daniel Jones a bunch of money. And I think it's my understanding that Tommy DeVito, he has better stats in the last 3 weeks than Patrick Mahomes has had. So, and weirdly was NFC Player of the Week, although I will say AFC Player of the Week was Zach Wilson. So take that with a grain of salt. But no, I'm going to ride the Tommy DeVito train. Ma, where's the gravy? Let's kick it back to Tony Parlay, who, he's going against the family. Tell us why.
Italians in New Orleans? This doesn't seem like a good mix, man. This doesn't seem like a good mix, man. And it feels like that DeVito train is about to crash. Similar to how you're saying no one's going to pick the Patriots, no one's going to pick the Saints, and they're a better team. The Giants aren't a good team. We've seen this. I told you guys they weren't going to be a good team. Daniel Jones isn't that good of a quarterback. Tommy DeVito is willing them to win, and it's because the same thing that happened earlier this season with the Pasternaut. No film, no tape. We didn't know who he was. 4 games now, tape's going to be out. Saints have a good defense. They're going to win that game, as bad as they are, and they're not good either.
Do they, though? Do they?
Yeah, the Saints have a good defense. They've got good defensive players. And
they play in the NFC South.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, maybe the Giants would be leading the NFC South, but I don't know. This game,
the Giants would for sure win that division if they were there. Come on.
I don't think so. They seem like a different version of one of these other teams. They're like Tampa Bay. It's the same quarterback. I mean, DeVito's like a poor man's Baker. He's a short guy that makes some plays out of the pocket. And I mean, in reality, there's going to be enough tape out on him. Saints defense will make plays. Kamara will make plays. They're going to win that game.
Against family. All right. Got Atlanta Falcons at Carolina Panthers. There's a reason why tickets for this game are 45 cents right now. Atlanta favored by 3 points. Nick, we'll start with you.
I mean, this game could end up in a push, but I'm going to take the Falcons in this because they're 5-1 against the spread in their past 6 division games. And the Panthers, they're scoring less than 20 points a game, so I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yeah, that Panthers team sucks. By far the worst team in the league right now. I think Atlanta easily is going to score more than 3 points against, or cover by more than 3 points in this game. I talked to Tony jokingly. I think Alabama could beat this Panthers team. So I realize that's not even close to being true, but makes you wonder. Tony, what about yourself?
Yep. Gross game. That Atlanta could beat. I mean, Panthers could lose to Alabama. I don't know. They're bad, dude. They're real bad. It'll be bad. Yeah, give me the Falcons in this one.
That's our analysis for this game. It could be bad.
Yeah, they're bad, dude. They're real bad.
Speaking of bad games, we've got the Washington Commanders head to Los Angeles to face the Rams. Rams favored by 6.5 points in this one. Tony, we'll kick it back to you.
Dude, the Commanders, they're like another fake. Is Sam Howell like a legitimate quarterback? He feels like another backup in this league. He's like a different version of Tommy DeVito. I mean, 6.5 points. They're begging me to try and take this Commanders team. Rams are going to win this game. Rams are good outfit. Rams are still in the playoff hunt. I don't know what the Commanders are doing. I feel like now that Brandon Staley is gone, like targeting is going to go straight to Ron Rivera as the coach on the hot seat next, waiting to be fired. So I think the Rams win this one pretty easily. So yeah, give me 6.5 points in the Rams.
Yeah, Tony, I'm in agreement. I'm taking the Rams because I don't know what the Commanders are right now. Like they're trying to push Sam Howell like he's a starting quarterback in the league. It's not. Got Ron Rivera that just seems like he was this transition guy between ownership regimes, and his time is coming due. And yeah, I think everything that we're seeing on the Commanders right now, we're not going to see any of this come week 1 next week, whether it's coach, quarterback, a lot of players. I think they're just going to go full scale rebuild here in the offseason. And so I think it's a team that's kind of just mailing it in right now. So yeah, give me McVay, his culture, give me the Rams, give me Stafford, just veteran presence all around. Nick, that leaves it with you.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys on there. I expect Stafford to have a big day. He's got 3 touchdowns in 3 straight games. Commanders' defense is one of the worst in the league, giving up 30 passing touchdowns. Yeah, give me the Rams by a touchdown.
All right. It's a couple family plays. Cue Vin Diesel.
I got family.
All right. Next up, divisional matchup of the NFC West. A little bit of a brain fart there, fellas. Sorry. Got the San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. Biggest spread of the weekend. San Francisco favored by 13.5 points. Tony, I'll start with you on this one.
This was tough, and I had to go against the Niners, even though I don't feel good about it. But that spread feels pretty large, 13.5. And I know that the Niners play the Ravens next week, so I feel like they could possibly be overlooking this Cardinals team. And it feels like the Cardinals are going to backdoor this somehow, and that's why I'm going to really take the Cardinals. They're going to be competitive. Kyler will go ahead and make some plays. I really do think the Niners hit like a little bit of a stumbling block in the second half, take their foot off the gas a little bit. Cardinals backdoor cover. Give me Arizona in 13.5.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, Tony. I think this is a game that the Niners aren't necessarily going to take seriously, whereas the Cardinals, like, it's a divisional matchup for them. They probably want to get something out of this game. Kyler Murray still has the ability to make plays, so I think Arizona keeps it close. Ultimately, the Niners win. I think Niners probably win by 10 points in this game would be my prediction. So, leaves us with Nick, who's on a lonely island with the Niners. Not a bad place to be necessarily. No. Tell us why you're picking San Francisco.
I mean, yeah, I was with you guys. I did feel like it might be a little bit too many points, but then I looked back and the Niners have won their last 5 games by an average of 20 points. So with Kyler Murray, this is his first time playing this Niners defense since 2021. I know they're coming off a bye, but this Niners team is rolling right now, and I expect them to win by 2 touchdowns.
All right. That leaves us with our last Sunday afternoon game. Cowboys at Buffalo Bills. Buffalo favored by 1.5 points. Start with myself on this one. Yep, I'm taking the Cowboys. Like, I learned my lesson in that Eagles game of, like, Cowboys are a good team. Like, they're not a pretender. They're not a phony. They're not a fraud. They're legit. And whereas Bills, like, they're still just, I think they're kind of clawing to get back into playoff relevance. And for the Cowboys, like, it's a chance to get number 1 seed, chance to potentially win the division still. So give me Dallas. We've seen the ups and downs from the Bills this season, and I think this will be a down moment for them. If the Broncos defense can beat them in Buffalo, surely the Cowboys can. So, Nick, we'll kick it to you first.
Yeah, Chris, I'm with you. This Dallas team is really good. So, I mean, Dak Prescott has multiple passing touchdowns in 7 straight games, tied with Tony Romo for the second longest streak in Cowboys history. This Bills team, yeah, they've been fighting back, but over the last 9 games, they're 2-7 against the spread. So I'm going to take the Cowboys on this.
That leaves us with our resident Dallas Cowboys expert, Mr. Parlay. Talk to us about the Cowboys.
Yeah, man. Nothing really seems fluky about how they're winning these games. And Dak Prescott, since that San Francisco game, has been the best quarterback in the league. Pick up whatever statistic you want. The one that surprised me the most when I was looking at it is no surprise that the Chiefs have had problems with wide receivers and drops this year as they lead the league. Well, the Cowboys are actually second in drops this year by wide receivers, and Dak is still at the top of almost every passing statistic. So I'm like, he never seems wrong. He's not making any mistakes, like not many turnover worthy plays, complete command of that offense. And even if you thought these teams were even, which I don't, I think the Bills are pretty comparable to the Eagles. And I think that Josh Allen turns the ball over a lot. And the Cowboys defense is primed to generate turnovers, pass rush, ball hawks in the secondary. So doesn't feel like a good matchup to me. But even if you thought that these were even matchups, I would say that the kicker for the Cowboys is really good, better than the Bills kicker. Dak's been playing better this year than Josh Allen, and I think that McCarthy's a better coach than McDermott. So if it's a close game and you give me the quarterback, coach, and kicker, I'm going to take the Cowboys even if it's on the road. And whether anything becomes a factor, it just seems like pretty obvious to me, man.
We'll give McCarthy credit just for not wanting to take out the Twin Towers. So that's why slightly above McDermott. All right. We'll end on a 9/11 joke, folks. That has been our Sunday games. Catch us later today for Sunday Night Football, where we have the Ravens versus the Jaguars, and we'll talk a little more in depth about that game. Definitely some AFC implications there. And then we'll be back tomorrow with our Monday Night Football picks. Eagles at Seahawks. Also a pretty interesting game. So catch us then. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. For the Sports Buds, I'm Chris Billings. For Nick Kerr, Tony Reyes, everyone have a great Sunday.
Thanks for watching the Sports Buds. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.